Hey guys, so let me get you on this little secret that I find out that my billionaire friend told me, all right? So that secret is that the key to beating the stock market is to invest in index funds. So what exactly are index funds? I'm gonna get to later on in the video. But first, let me tell you who my friend is. And that person is Warren Buffett, right? And I know you guys are gonna say you're lying, and I am. He's not my friend, and he didn't directly tell me, but indirectly he did tell everyone. And how did he do this? So he made a bet, a $1 million bet against the world's best hedge fund managers that index funds will beat them over a 10-year span. So he literally put his money where his mouth is. And 2 years ago, when the bet was over, guess who won? Warren Buffett.
So here's the article published by CNN News covering the story of Warren Buffett's bet against the world's best hedge fund managers. Buffett stated that a simple index fund can make you richer compared to giving your money to a hedge fund. At the time, this was considered extremely insane because hedge fund managers dedicated their lives and profession to the stock market, yet they lost. He specifically chose the S&P 500, which had a beautiful 125% return over the 10-year span, and absolutely destroyed hedge fund managers. After winning the bet, Buffett tauntingly said the stock market does not require a great deal of intelligence, a degree in economics, or any type of familiarity of Wall Street jargon. He extremely emphasized that investors instead should need a disregard of public opinions and to focus on simple fundamentals.
So I know all you guys are wondering, what in the world is the index fund? Well, an index fund is literally the performance of an overall stock. So, and it's over several stocks, not just one. So there are various types of indexes. There are small cap indexes. There are growth indexes, and then in particular, the one I'm going to focus on, the one me or you going to talk about, is the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is literally all of the 500 best American stocks. What happens is that when you buy into an index fund, you're paying for the overall performance of all 500 stocks. So you're not paying for one stock, you're paying for 5 stocks at a fractional price. The awesome part about it all is that you're literally diversifying exactly what you're putting your money in. That way, you're not worried about the overall performance of one stock, since you're really gearing all of your investments in 500. So it's like, in a way, you're really being efficient in that way, and you're taking a more of a hands-off approach, because that way you don't really have to focus on each particular stock, because it's really time consuming, and it takes a lot of learning. But doing it the method of just buying the overall performance of the stock market makes things more efficient for you. So the advantage is that you're investing in the overall American economy, and your return is based upon all 500 stocks in the S&P 500. So imagine 20 out of the 500 stocks don't give you the best return. You still have the remaining amount of stocks to boost up that average. So statistically speaking, you have 500 chances to get a good return. So why isn't that so hard for you to think about, where you're like, you're not depending on one stock, you're depending on 500. So if that's the case, that makes things more easier and more diverse, and you're limiting your risk. On top of that, I mean, could you imagine just paying for every stock, right? Like, what, 500 times however each stock is costing? That's a lot of money, and I don't have that. And, so the index fund really provides you the opportunity, and usually you buy them at a low price or at a fair amount of price, but overall, you've gotten great returns from it. Over the past 10 years, there's been an average of 12% return on just the S&P 500. And for me, on average, that's pretty good, where you're just contributing money. Like I said before, this is my plan. This is why I'm following it. Literally, a billionaire is telling you this is his goal, and he literally also said that when he dies, he's gonna make 90% of his overall net worth go straight into the index fund for his family. What does that go to say? That that's literally the easiest way. So why aren't you doing this? The question. Why aren't you trying to learn more about it? I'm doing it just because it's been proven, it's been done so many times already, and that the history has shown that the S&P 500 has been beating all these hedge fund managers. It's hard. Trying to beat the freaking market is really hard. So if you think the stock market is too difficult for you and trying to find the best pick in the next hot stock is too much to ask of you, I think the most passive way and easiest way to achieve that financial freedom is just through index funds. I mean, clearly you see a billionaire telling you that this is his way of making his money, and not only that, but he's actually putting the majority of his wealth into it just to prove you guys. He made $1 million off of it. He gave the gains to charity because he knew he was going to win anyway. So if you're just curious or just want to know more, I advise you to just do your research. Obviously, always educate yourself. Always make sure you're doing that because that's the most important thing to do. Other than that, guys, all I'm going to say is like and subscribe. And hope you guys enjoyed. So see you guys next week. Adios.